understand what the chomorot, what the materials of it are. You go, girl. Welcome to Open Temple. My daughter was doing that exact same move yesterday. I think it's a vortex. Anyway, so we move forward. I want to first say there's a technology through which we go through Judaism, and it's called a spiritual curriculum. A spiritual curriculum is why am I here in this world, and how am I going to find it out? And a spiritual practice is the way that we tack down that curriculum. And here at Open Temple, we actually have a number of practices that we can engage all of us in to get through our lives. One of the things that we do is we have an awesome bar and bat mitzvah program, and it really works with our students specifically. Secondly, we have a school, and the school is working through creativity so children can understand that they have a soul journey too. Finally, we have something to help parents. Vitamin B, our secret, Barbara Ollinger. Are any of us familiar with this amazing parenting guru in Venice? So she runs a place for parents here at Open Temple, and she's incredible. And a part of it, why I present that, is because Rosh HaShanah is a great drop-in day, but a spiritual curriculum is something larger than just coming and celebrating the new year. And as we move into our observance, which is going to be filled with prayers and music and thought, I want us to think about how do we take the experiences we're having today and turn it into a spiritual practice for ourselves and for our families. Let's move on, Mateo. First thing we have to do, though, is take this amazing room of people and convert it into what's called a kihila kadosha, a holy community. Because if we don't do that, then we're just going to be this random constellation of dudes and dudettes, and that would be chaval, because there's something really unique here. The rabbis teach us that when 10 Jewish souls come together, Shekhinah, this beautiful image of a feminine attribute of godliness, is dwelling amongst us. So let's understand that by understanding who are these souls that we're sitting next to. So please let's introduce ourselves to the people who are sitting near us that we might not know. Who's this? Hello. Hi. Hi, Francesca. Hi, I'm Shaitu. I'm Lori. How are you? You look like you were somewhere fun. What's your name? Oh, yes. Hi. How are you again? Oh, yes, I remember. You were here last year. I remember exactly. You're so beautiful. Good to see you. Shana Tova. And now that we had this amazing ability, I always say it's an occupational hazard to let a room full of Jews talk to one another. How many people have Jewish geographied out already? Admit it. Oh my God, you're from Long Island? Where? Oh my God, no, sure, I'm from the South Shore. Wow. See? All right. So let's bring our attention back to just how incredible it is to hold this container. And if our children are close, we can hold them even closer, because this is one of those moments when we feel the presence of all of us being here together. We take a nice stretch out, and we open our arms, and we capture the people near us, and we give a great Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim. Can we go a little faster? Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. And it teaches us a little bit about prayer. The first thing it teaches us about prayer is weird. It's a little strange. In the middle of a moment of stretching, we could just do a little hine matov, which I think when I'm in child mode, it makes more sense. As adults, sometimes it's really awkward, right? So prayer is a muscle that we have to kind of, stretch a little sometimes. And that was just a little ease into our prayer experience. This is a photograph I'm going to ask. No one who was at the service yesterday can answer. But those of us that were not at the service, what is this? Ooh, I love that you think it's an eclipse. An eclipse. It's a kind of eclipse because there's an eclipse, I think, means technically light is being limited, right? And in this phenomenon, there is something being eclipsed. But what is it? What is it specifically? Yes? Ryan. Okay, we have a geometric possibility. Yes? Huh? The moon! Yes? I love that. It's the moon! Not only is this is the moon taken yesterday at the moment that Rosh HaShanah was coming in Israel. Wow. So this moon is precisely the moon when the rabbis and the writers of Torah describe what Rosh Hashanah is. This is the precise thing of what we're supposed to look up to the sky and see. We're supposed to apprehend the tiniest sliver of light coming out from the occlusion of darkness, reminding us of the waxing of light over the next 15 days. It's a message of peace, a message of illumination, a message of all the things that light bring us. And it is singularly what the Torah tells us defines the new year. The new year is Yom Teruah, this day of this shuddering, revolutionary reminder of something coming. And for us, Rosh Hashanah is represented in the new moon. So much so that the rabbis say that they needed 2 days to make sure that they know it's the new moon. So we have not a one-day observance, but actually a 2-day observance of Rosh Hashanah. At Open Temple, we take our first observance really deeply on this first day. And the second day, I tell everyone to go into nature, go to museums, do things to apprehend creation in other ways. But I'm getting ahead of myself because we need to talk about what is Rosh Hashanah, right? What is Rosh Hashanah? And where are my kisses? Okay, Baruch Hashem, I have my kisses. Let's move forward, Mateo. All right, so what is Rosh Hashanah? Where is it in this verse? What are we looking at here? Woo, woo. Oh, you wanted kisses. Here you get 2. You're a big guy. You need 3. Okay, thanks. Okay, so what is this? It's a calendar. So this is like a mandala of the Jewish... Who's that? Ryan, I love you, Ryan. It's good to see you. I miss you. All right, so it's the Jewish year, right? It's our Jewish year. And the Jewish year kind of has, we recognize these names, right? But then we have these names, the Hebrew names. And the calendar leads us through a cycle. And this cycle says that there's a certain region of the earth where these animals exist that kind of work in different areas that we're at. Yeah, guys? The Milo, Nola, and friend, what's your name? What is it? You see fruit? I love that. So a part of what the calendar does in the Jewish imagination of a year is that our calendar, share with your friends, 2 are for your friends. So the calendar in a Jewish year, the way that we set it, always corresponds with what's called an agrarian calendar. So we're always corresponding with what's growing in nature. I see another hand over here. You see what? I heard that, but I want you to say it with really full girl power voice. A sun, you got it. It's a sun. Here you go, 1, 2, 3. It's a sun, and the sun, you see, is during the more arid season, the dry season, and what's in opposition of the sun? What's in opposition of the sun? The earth. Imagine that. Imagine if the way you used, fossil fuels and plastics, imagine if the way that we used like gasoline and other energies, imagine if the choices we made as to what kind of water we drink and what we put it in impacted the fate of the earth. That can't be true. Is it? So this time of year that we go down into our character and think about the choices that we're making really has impact. It really impacts the way that the earth is responding. And you could see the ancients knew that very well. And I think by the conversations we've been having globally, how many people did a Greta walkout, a march in school last week? Anyone? Right? So we're having these conversations now as well. So maybe what the ancients were doing wasn't so antediluvian, right? Scout. So we are on, how many guys ever do scouting? You ever search for something? Show me your searching face. Show me, do you have a magnifying glass when you search? Show me, what do you do when you search? Do you put on your amazing binoculars when you search? How do you search, guys? Show me how you search. That's what we're doing right now. We're searching. We're searching for our souls. We're searching for our character. We're searching for our truths. Okay? You ready for that? You're going to do it. You're going to be on the search. So we go through a search, but we have to deal with a few things. We have to deal with awakening our souls. We have to deal with the concept of God. We have to deal with admitting that we missed the mark. Anyone ever take Barbara Ollinger's Triggers workshop? I have. I'm batting about 45% right now. So we have to really own our stuff and get better at it. Then we have to look at, like, how are the scales weighing in our lives? And in what ways are we really kind of in a cheshbon nefesh, an accounting of the soul? What's the tally, right? So great to see you guys. And then as we go through Kol Nidre and Yamim Noraim and Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, we come to a grand trial. And it's us who's on trial. And then if we make it through the other side, we sit in a sukkah and rejoice for Sukkot with our harvest and the shefa, the abundance of life surrounding us. And then we get to have the ultimate joy, which is art and dance with Torah, right? So we have a hero's journey that we're going through right now. And what I say about those of us who are Jewish and going through some sort of I'm spiritual but not religious study is this isn't religion in like a way that's futzy and old. This is a spiritual journey that has proven the test of time. It's non-dogmatic. It's a spiritual practice that leads us as we cycle through it to new understandings of ourself, our place in the world, how to parent and become the person and the parents we're meant to be. Let's move, Mateo. Okay, this is a little bit of the practices for us to go through our spiritual curriculum at Open Temple. We can see that we're right here on the awakening. Next week, we'll have the sacrifice for Yom Kippur. And then we go through the dunk right before Yom Kippur, actually. Then we have the building, which is Sukkot. We'll have a goat kind of day at the goat farm at the house. And then we go Sukkah crawl and celebration. And again, the application of that is there is a way, there's a technology in Judaism to do spiritual practice. It doesn't just happen at soul cycle class or yoga class. It happens in a Jewish spiritual practice. And that's what we're offering at Open Temple. Let's keep it going. So what are our names for Rosh Hashanah? Who's going to get a kiss? All right, what names do we have? I see over there. Who is that? Hi. What's the name? Rosh Hashanah, right? And I love that we started with that. I'm so happy to see you. I love that we started with that. Hi. Here you go for each of them. So Rosh Hashanah is such a great thing because it starts, what's a Rosh? A Rosh is a head, right? And a Shana is a year. But another thing to say is it shares the same bilateral root as Shinui. So it means, I'm playing with this year, you need your head to change. You need to have behavioral self-regulation to change. Isn't that what our only job with the kids? Our only duty with children is to get them to self-regulate. And then hopefully by 18 they do it and they can go and have their lives. But that's our only job. It's like, guys, get here, get here, get here. Right? Frontal lobe, frontal lobe, frontal lobe, right? So Rosh Hashanah is really the head leading us to change. Yes, what else? You have another name? New Year, yes. Dashi, anything for you? Yes, and something else? New Year also. Guys, I see a trend happening here. Yes, you have something else? What do you want? What he said? You want to what? Yom Trua? You said something so beautiful, Yom Trua. That is the day of the trembling, because we meet this time like a war cry. We're going to battle. We're going to say, I did things I'm not proud of. How many of us did things we weren't proud of? Guys, I want to see you guys. Yeah? What did we do, Luna? What did we do? What did we do? What did we do? Can we say what we did? Aaron? Do you have anything? Apples? You did apples? You got a kiss. There you go. But like, really, what did we do? What are the things that we want to say we're sorry for? This is where we're going to go with Yom Kippur. Let's get it in early. That's why we're here. We're here to change. We're here to grow. We're here to name it so we can tame it. Yes? Oh, yeah. So when we were disappointed, anyone here ever have a big, like, disappointment that was just terrible and we needed to have that disappointment? And other people didn't really want us to have that disappointment at a time, but it was so important for us to be disappointed that the whole world had to stop for that disappointment. Sometimes we need to apologize for those moments. Yeah. Yeah. So they're really big. They're really big and they happen, and I've had them too. But that's what this is all about. It's acknowledging Yom Teruah. We are at a battle to improve ourselves. It's Yom Hadin. We're here to judge ourselves. As I like to say, we're here to judge ourselves, not others. Judge ourselves, right? We'll talk about that at another time. Yom HaKisei, it's the day of the occlusion, right? To kind of reveal what is occluded, reveal the unseen. Yom HaZikaron, a day of remembrance. We want to be remembered for our goodness and not our transgressions. Rosh HaShanah, our head of the year, using our head to get through change. You ready to make this happen? Okay, we're going to awaken our souls right now. So what I want to do is invite parents to take their children and to hold that beautiful life in our arms. And I want us to say, I feel love, and then you tell them where you feel it. Because what we're going to do is awaken our souls, and I know no better place to awaken souls than through love, right? That's how we're going to start, right? We're going to find our place in the universe through love, and we're going to awaken our souls. So that's just a little feeling of prayer. A little Bissell intro as we get ready for our prayer service. We have a few more things we need to understand. First, the Machzor. You can't count how many pages are left because ours is digital, but a Machzor is a beautiful, beautiful review book. It cycles through our lives. It contains so much cycle of the life of our year, and it really is a journey like a time machine in a book of different geographic regions, thoughts, places, time, and that is what our Machzor is based on. Now, we can't go through this Machzor without reconciling this little ditty. This little ditty is a concept of God. At Open Temple, we are God optional, and I say God optional, which means I don't know what God is, and I go to Maimonides now, and I say, and therefore, because I cannot tell you what God is, I therefore cannot say that there is not a God, because it's logic and it's reason. So I know, just like Moses, having this moment where he had lived this big life, and he comes across a bush, and he looks twice, his whole life was defined because he knew to look more closely at something. And that's what I ask us to do, to kind of just look and be curious. Because when we look and we're curious, we're bound to find something, right? Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. And what we can ask our kids right now is like, what's God? What's God? Oh my God, what's God, right? What's God? What is God? Does anyone want to say what God is? Yes? Love. That's our favorite one. God is love. And then you read the book of Deuteronomy and it's like, oh, God's a little angry, right? But that's what it is, because actually, like, the entirety of the story of Rosh Hashanah is predicated on the fact that what was really judgy and angry flipped and became compassionate and loving. Dude, if only, right? Yes. What's God? Eternity, you said? That's profound, and I want to know you in 20 years. That was amazing. You are a non-dualist. You are so Maimonidean. I really want to come to Creative Tour Academy. I want to hang out with you and learn about God. Okay, good. What else? Who's there? Yes. What girl power voice? Say it louder. Spirit. God is spirit, right? God is spirit. Yes, we do. God is spirit. How about you? I love that. Yes, what else, Ryan? Optional Judaism, right? God is being able to use our minds to maybe think critically about things. We had another one up here. I see a beautiful hand up. Yeah? Over back there, Nola. God is what? Did you say life? That is so gorgeous. Life, right? I can't say what God is, but I know, as I say always in the asphalt, there'll be this like life bursting through, and I'm like, whoa, something's here. Yeah? Josh. Oh, where are the notes? What? Nature, the transnatural God, my young philosopher. Yes, God is nature. And so many of the philosophers looked at natural law as a place to know God, right? Who's over there in that beautiful kippah? Who is that? I don't know. You're getting, Dad's telling you what God is? God is Mother Earth? Oh, that's so beautiful. God, yeah, that's like Gaia consciousness. That's so Venice. Yeah. God is Mother Earth. What else do we have? Yes, Shira. God is a rainbow. It is revealing the unseen, which then we find out is really refraction through a prism or water vapor. It's quite profound. It's seeing light, right? That was just white light that our eyes couldn't apprehend. That's just broken, and then we could see it, right? Amazing. Yes, you were like, no, a rainbow, like Skittles, right? Hi. I really like you. You're so sweet. All right, so we have a little bit. So we're going to use a lot of God. What is this? We have a prism. Do we have a light? We have it. Where's our light? Get it? Anyone have an iPhone? That's so great. I love your like, yeah, I have a prism. What else do you have in there, Mary Poppins? Oh, there's I can see it. Oh, that's so great. When you hold it up to the light, there it is. Oh, Shira, you have to see this. When you hold it up to the light, you can see rainbows inside. That's really cool. Here, I'm going to give this to Shira, and we're going to keep going. Here, this is so exciting. Go hold it up to the light and see it. That's so great. Yes, I love that. So we move on, and we say, yeah, there's a prayer that we can say when we feel grateful for this presence. And it's for this presence of whatever God is, we say, thank you, God. And a part of what we want to also acknowledge in that in positive psychology, a lot of studies have been revealing how that we truly, truly kind of have a salubrious effect. We kind of like up our emotional intelligence when we're existing in a place of positivity. So having moments of gratitude and having a practice of gratitude is one of the ways that we emerge actually cultivating that beneficence inside of us. So let's try it right now by saying what are the things that we're thankful for. So this is another prayer. Prayer is weird. We might feel a little like, eek when we start, but I promise, let's stick with it and commit, and we will emerge on the other side, perhaps understanding what this thing is that we're talking about. So the words here, the formula is Baruch Atah Adonai, which basically means, blessed are you, Yah, whatever that is, or thank you, God. So I want you guys to discuss amongst yourselves, what are you thankful for? And Sean is here. Hello, hello. So what are the things that we're thankful for? And we can talk about it amongst ourselves, then we're going to come together as a group and try a prayer with thank you, God, in cultivating this positivity within. All right? Can you say, thank you, God, for... your mama, that's beautiful. Baruch atah Adonai. Thank you, God. We have to, like, 1 second. We have to hold that for 1 second because people came late. But go take it back one slide, just one slide. Because you walked in and we were talking all about, like, what is God and what are God concepts and how do you understand what God is. So I'm just knowing for the latecomers that we're not sure what that is, but we're attaching it to an idea. And when we attach it to an idea, then something ripens. So we don't have to say no, because we said like Maimonides, because I cannot tell you that there is a God, I can then not tell you that God is not a God, right? So we're holding space for God optional what if? Yes? What if? And now we go.
Baruch atah Adonai. Thank you, God.
So what are we thankful for? What else? We have thank you for sports. And thank you for daddies. Thank you for daddies. And thank you for more daddies. Baruch atah Adonai. Thank you, God. What else do we have? Someone surely has something else. How about thank you for my brother, and thank you for my sister, and thank you for my mommy, and thank you for California. Baruch atah Adonai. Thank you, God. Do we have more? Anyone else with gratitudes? Yeah? What do we just want to say? For me?
Aww.
No way! Shucks. Thank you. Thank you for us. Yes. All right, we move on. That was so cool. What is that? What is that? Wait a second. Wait a second. What is this? What the heck? It like 3D, man. 3D. What is this? This is crazy. A unicorn. Yeah. They do exist. What, Ryan? What is it? No? Oh, now you're going to get all embouchure on me. Okay. Like a trumpet? So what is it? What is it? It's a snake. It's a what? What? Say it 1, 2, 3.
Shofar.
Shofar, so good. It's a shofar. Well, what do we do with this thing? Why do we have it? What an incredibly ancient ritual to bring into the 21st century. Shouldn't we have an app for this? Why would we possibly need this? I know we do. I know we do. Thank you.
iShofar, available on the Apple Store.
No way. No way. Oh, see? Oh, they think of everything.
Yep.
We are one tech-savvy culture. Oh, yeah. So it's a shofar. It's an ancient alarm clock is really what it is. You know, we didn't have iPhones, and we didn't have like those 80s things that we used to slap down with our hands and say snooze. We didn't have any of those things in the ancient world, but what we had was this relationship with animals. And animals provided for us all sorts of materials that allowed us to then understand things like musicality and calls to battle and calls to awakening our souls. And that's what this shofar was. It was like this absolute, immediate experience when we would blow it to awaken our souls. Now, what that means, that's what we're here to find out. And perhaps when we go through this day, we will explore the sounds of the shofar. I didn't know it would be a tango.
I like to hear the shofar blast, sometimes slow and sometimes fast. I like to hear the shofar blast. Happy, happy, happy New Year. I like to hear the shofar blast, sometimes slow and sometimes fast. I like to hear the shofar blast. Happy, happy, happy New Year. Tekiah. Your turn. I like to hear the shofar blast, sometimes slow and sometimes fast. I like to hear the shofar blast. Happy, happy, happy New Year. Shevarim.
Shevarim.
Tekiah.
Tekiah.
sometimes slow and sometimes fast. I like to hear the shofar blast. Happy, happy, happy New Year. All right, this one's tricky. Cheru, ah, 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 ah.
Cheru.
Shivarim.
Shevarim.
Tekiya.
Tekiya.
I like to hear the shofar blast. Sometimes slow and sometimes fast. I like to hear the shofar blast. Happy, happy, happy New Year. All right, can we do Tekiya Gedola together? See who can hold it the longest. Ready? Everyone take a big deep breath. Tekiya Oh, that was really good. Wow, good lung control. Teru. Shivarim. Tekiya. I like to hear the shofar blast. Sometimes slow and sometimes fast. I like to hear the shofar blast. Happy, happy, happy New Year. Happy, happy, happy New Year. Happy, happy, happy New Year.
Woo! We're going to have to figure this thing out. Maybe someone's going to figure this thing out. We have to figure that out. Woo, it rolls. Oh, maybe that's it. All right. So this is what we have to deal with next because it's a real thing here. It's a real thing because we talked about all of these wonderful God concepts, right? A transnatural God, a God in the in-between, you know, a very deep understanding of love and compassion. But on the high holidays, incontrovertibly, we have to deal with an absolute monarch. An absolute anthropomorphic king is what we are given. It's unapologetic of the rabbis. They say this time of year, there is a king, and he is in the fields. None of that second or third wave transvaluation feminism going on here. This is a dude. It's a king. He's in the field. He's anthropomorphized. How do we deal with that? What are we to do with that image? It's something I personally have wrestled with for years. And a part of why we're here right now is to say, how can I convert Judaism from something that's inaccessible to something that's intimate within me? And if there is this idea of a human-type God, that might be a lapse for me. How many of us feel like that? Yeah. So we're here to explore it in real time. And what I want to think about is what we were saying before about self-regulation and just a little bit of a game of what is the idea of an Avinu, a father who is a Malkeinu. No matter what we do, guys, IVF or anything, the progenitor is the progenitor. Life starts in the male and goes to the female, and now you can explain the rest to your kids when you go home. But the idea truly is true, that there's something about creation that begins in its origin in an Avinu, in a father. And there's something then about the way that we cultivate our understanding of being in this world that elevates us to Malchut, to a place of sovereignty, divine sovereignty of self. So what I'm hoping we can do is we can celebrate that as parents and understand that our journey is to really cleave to this concept of Avinu Malkeinu, to elevate. And as we elevate, we become more of the parents we're meant to become in a godly way so we can model for our children. And with that, I want to ask the kids, what's a king? What's a king? Yeah? Wait, whoa, are you a ventriloquist? I have the best knock-knock joke in the world. Knock-knock. Ventriloquist. I made that one up. It gets better. Knock-knock. Ventriloquist parrot. Ventriloquist parrot who? My 3-year-old made that one up. Anyway, so what were you saying? That's what a king is? Someone who's just dressed up? No? Would you like to dress up like a king? Because we have a special kind of king here. So yeah, you had something to say here, Nola? Huh? Someone who rules, right? Someone who's in charge, right? What else? Did someone else have something to say about a king? Yeah? Yeah? A very demanding person. Oh, that is so deep. Wow. The Godhead is imprinted in you, my dear Ryan. I can't wait to see what you become. Yes. Someone who watches over the entire world. That is so beautiful. I'm so glad that you said that because, we have our own kind of king here because we are all kings and queens, Gesundheit, of this earth. And so I have my ranger hat because rangers are people that we all know of who guard over our parks, right? And then I also stole from my kid's costume drawer this beautiful crown because I think that we are all guardians of this earth, right? This is a way I was able to transvalue this very kind of rigid tradition symbol that we've been given and make it something palpable. You ever get really a warm fuzzy when you see the ranger? I do. Yeah? So how can we all be stewards and rangers of this earth? How can we find the inner monarch that we are all kings and queens of this earth? Should we figure that out? Should we explore that? What do you think, Mateo? Could you guys come up? Come on up, guys. Show me. I want to see your regal walk. Let me see your regal walk. Who's going to be a king? Who's going to be a queen? Who are we going to go? Move it, Mateo. All right, there we go. Who's my king and queen? Woo! Who is it? Who's my king and queen? Who's my king and queen? Will you be my first king? Can you show me your regal king walk? Come on, be regal king. Regal king walk. Regal king. Yes, you got it. Yeah, bam.
King, so enemies beware.
Who's next? Who's next? Who's our next king? Are you our next king? No? Are you our king?
Be the main event, like no king was before.
Can you go? Give your
Brushing up or looking down, or working on my
You say hello to Kelly? 'Cause I just can't wait to be king. Who's next? Who's next? Who's the next king? Who's going to be next king? Who is it?
Stop that. No one saying see here. We don't run around all day.
Who goes next? You're a great queen. Are you ready to be king, Joshua?
Well, I think it's time that you and I arrange the hearts.
You got it.
Don't need advice from little old Mr. Star.
If this is where the
You got
money is headed, count me out. Out of service, South Africa, I wouldn't hang about. This time is getting lost.
That was amazing. High five.
Oh, I just
Woo!
can't wait.
Are you next, Eva? Would you like to?
Everybody look left, everybody look right. Anywhere you look, I'm standing spotlight.
Not yet.
Raise a beat and broken steel. Let's hear it in the herd and on the wing. It's gonna be King Simba's finest fling. Oh, I just can't wait to be king. Oh, I just can't wait to be king. Oh, I just can't wait to be king.
Thank you. What an appropriate end with Luna. There we have our little moon girl. That's so beautiful. All right, so we have HaMelech. We've dealt with this king. It seems like we're going to be okay with that symbol. We'll make it through there. We're going to keep moving, Mateo. So with this, if we can understand or apprehend what it is that a God concept we might be able to find relatable, if we can understand the why of why we're here on Rosh Hashanah, of how it's a time of looking to cycle through a new cycle, how it's 5780, it's the 80s again, how we're writing some sort of passage in our life that was a mistrial, how we're trying to kind of weigh the scales more in our favor through self-regulating and an acknowledgement of our behaviors, to meet it with contrition and truth. If we understand all that we are rising for in what led us here today, I invite everyone to rise for our formal call to worship, the Baruch Hu.
Yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai. am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yalla lie, lie, lie. 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamivorach.
Baruch Adonai Yamborach. So this is when we say Yom Huledet Sameach, Earth. Yom Huledet Sameach. Because the rabbis teach that this is also Yom Harat HaOlam. It's the day the earth was created, which is actually a grand misnomer because this day of creation in the counting in the ancient world is actually the sixth day. So it's not the day that the world was created, it's the day that humans were created. So our ability to discern that existence occurs was created on this day. It's the day of the awakening to knowledge, the awakening to being. That is Yom Harat Olam, that we are actually recipients of this earth consciousness, and that on this day our awareness to being the stewards of this earth is awakened. We move on. You should come back here for sure. You're good? Love zone. All right. With that, we say, "O God, create for me a pure heart and renew within me a just spirit." It's a beautiful prayer before our Shema today. And the question I'd like us to ask our children is this question: tell me about your heart. Tell me about your heart. It's a moment to actually ask your child, tell me about your heart. Right now, your heart, how does it feel? Speedy? Excited? Jumpy? What's a heart? What's a heart? The rabbis say, Lev tahor bara li Elohim, v'ruach nachon chadash b'kirbi. Right? We're going to have a renewed heart. So what's a heart? Where's your heart, Tallulah? How do you know that? Have you ever seen what's inside, or did someone just tell you? Where's your heart? Your heart's right down here right now. Oh, it's up here, right? Right, so our hearts are there. They're like singing about hearts. They're getting lovey time going on. All right, so we all have hearts. And with this idea of love, we're actually going to de-escalate and go to a quiet space. And so I ask all of us to find our children, to hold them tight. Let's find the posture that's our bedtime or story reading posture. Let's find the loveliest lap that you know of. What is your name? Great. Can you go find your mommy or your daddy? I can't. Dylan. Oh, Dylan, to go into that place. And Marnie. Great. Marnies are back. Marnie, go and find your mommy and daddy. I love your shoes. They're fantastic. We find our mommy and daddy, and we're going into what's called Shema space. Shh. We're going into a very, and I'm going to ask, even Susan, you take down the lights a little. We're going into a Shema space. This is a mysterious space, guys. This is a mysterious space, a Shema space. It's a place of quiet. How many of us go to sleep every night? I go to sleep every night, sometimes. And in this space, I come to this beautiful place between awakening and sleep. And that space is the Shema space. Somewhere between being aware and drifting off to what the rabbis teach us, and this is for the adults, is 1/60th of DEATH. In the rabbinic imagination, that's what happens when we sleep. And so what is the space that we return to? How do we sustain it in our day? The rabbis give us the Shema prayer as a technology to sustain the awareness of that space at all times. So we take a deep breath in and we listen.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'em Leolam Va'em.
So the Shema is a companion for us always. We read together. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadevarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha veshinantam levanecha v'dibarta ba'am B'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uvshofecha uvkumecha uvshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu latotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. We read together. And you must love the one, your God, with your whole heart, with every breath, with all you have. Take these words that I command you now to heart. Teach them intently to your children. Speak of them when you sit inside your house or walk upon the road, when you lie down and when you rise, and bind them on a sign upon your hand and keep them visible before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Now there's a theme here. Keep going. There's a theme here for Rosh HaShanah, And it's a theme of Exodus, because we're walking out of 5779 and everything we missed the mark, and we're bringing along with it a dedication of an exodus, a dedication of a miraculous renewal, a declaration of a parting of the seas. And I want to invite all of us to do this revelatory dance. Yes, there Rabbi. You help me? Who's gonna dance and part the sea? Are you good? No way, man. This does not look fun. This does not look fun at all. This is so boring. Come on, negative psychology is supposed to work according to Adler. Triumphantly. Here we go. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had, redemption song, redemption song.
Oh, mi chamocha.
Elohim Adonai. Oh, mi chamocha. Nezar HaKodesh. Oh, no, Tehillah. Oh, say Oh, no, Tehillah. Won't you help to sing
These songs of freedom. 'Cause all I ever had.
redemption song, redemption song, redemption song. Break it down. Bring it, Zach Buckell, bring it. Guys. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None of ourselves and free our minds. Have no fear of atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets as we stand beside and look? Some say it's just a part of it.
We've got to fulfill the goal.
Now let's go. Won't you help underneath?
These songs of freedom. It's all I ever had.
Redemption song.
Redemption song.
Redemption song. Woo! So, we come to our deepest part of the service as we have great moments of contemplative observance and then moments of ecstatic. And now I ask, where do we stand? And what are we standing for? Because it's at this part of the service that if we were in the morning service, the most somber and holy prayers of the day are spoken, the prayers of judgment, the prayers of our future, the prayers of whether we'll be here when it turns to 5781. So I want to give the parents the gift of really thinking as we go into the rising prayers, the parents that we stand for, what are we rising for? Can we take a moment and have a little personal kavanah to say, this is what I stand for? And as we rise into our standing state, to really embody what are we standing for? So whether it's in the Serengeti or Mateo, perhaps Point Magoo up on PCH, or maybe it's at a holy kotel, a place made holy, because for thousands of years, people bring their holy selves there. It's just a wall. But when people imbue it with all of this vulnerability for thousands of years, something powerful happens in the space. So as we're invited to stand, let's think about that space that helps us remind us of how rooted we are in this earth and what we stand for. If you could do so comfortably, please rise. my children to raise all over again. I'd finger paint more and point the finger less. I do less correcting and more connecting. I take my eyes off my watch and watch with my eyes. I would care to know less and know to care more. I'd take more hikes and fly more kites. I'd stop playing serious and seriously play. I'd run through more fields and gaze at more stars. I'd do more hugging and less tugging. I would be firm less often and affirm much more. I'd build self-esteem first and the house later. I'd teach less about the love of power and more about the power of love.
Rosh HaShanah, Yom Kippur, Yom Kippur, Yehatemu.
Rosh Hashanah, Yikatevon, Uviyom Som Kippur, Uviyom Som Kippur, Yehatemu.
We inherit this idea of a book of life and a book of death. It is one of the oldest precepts in the creation of a Machzor. It dates back to antiquity. The Machzor, again, is a time machine, and as the years go on, it was added to piyutim and poems, ideas and philosophies, commentaries from every geographic region. But at its essence, the first story of the legend that we received was a story of a book of life and a book of death, and that all of us are actually right now in a third book of Benenu, somewhere in between, and that our actions and the ability for us to reflect upon them and to improve them and rarefy and ideate and iterate, that improvement and evolution of character is what merits a book of life. And I ask us, fellow to fellow, parent to parent, in what ways are we creating homes that are in the book of life? In what ways are we creating balanced lives for our children? In what ways are we balancing the values of din and rachamim, of judgment and of compassion? I'm going to out myself right now. I have a big article coming out in the Jewish Journal this week. It's about redeeming judgment and the need for our society to redeem judgment. It's the cover article, If No Great National Disaster Happens, of this Wednesday's Jewish Journal. And in it, I talk specifically, I'm going to come out as a neocon, but I really come out of saying the need for us to learn to self-regulate through self-judgment has never been needed more. And we live in a time where so many privileges are given to young people to really define, based on their feelings, how we should regulate our lives. And a part of really what I come out saying is we need to create children who are resilient, who are self-regulated and resilient. Because when we do that, we'll have adults that can tolerate difference and that can truly hear another side. And so the blessing that I have for each of us this year as we're looking at this book of life and this book of death is to ask ourselves, in what way are we creating resilient children who can understand and truly embrace difference, not through judgment, but through compassion. Judgment should be reserved for ourselves and our own self-improvement. And when we meet a judgment to another, it's time for us to then use our reflex that's called compassion. That's when that card gets pulled out. And so it's a grand balance of life and death. It's a grand balance of judgment and compassion. And this is the crucible that we sit in right now at this time. We continue. Utefila, Utedaka, Avirin et Roa, the concepts of inner return, of prayer that allows us to understand what's going on inside of us, and tzedakah, justice or righteousness to our fellow, is what right now is the formula to achieve. I just want to ask the parent of this young one to come forward because we don't want anyone to get hurt. Thank you. Let's move on. Thank you, Mateo. Mateo, thank you. we rise right now for what is perhaps the song of the essence of our Yamim Noraim, Avinu Malkeinu. We've been preparing for this moment. We've been preparing with a reflective capacity of saying, Avinu, my Father or my Creator, Malkeinu, my King or my Sovereign. I stand before you. I stand before you in the presence of my children, in the vulnerability of the imperfection of all that I am, and I give this plea. I offer this plea, and this plea is, let us all fill in the blank with our song and our prayer.
Avinu Malkeinu, Onenu Anenu. Avinu Malkeinu, Onenu Va'anenu, V'en Banu Masi, Oseh Imanu, Tzedaka v'chesed, Oseh Imanu, Tzedaka v'chesed, Ve'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Onenu Va'anenu. Avinu Malkeinu, Onenu Va'anenu, V'en Banu Masi.
So back to this thing now. We've had this incredible prayer experience. We've had this experience of like thinking about our parenting and the way it reflects upon who we are as we enter into 5780, which always corresponds to a new school year, which I have to say is an occupational challenge when you're a rabbi. And a part of what we have to do right now is really kind of put this thing to good use. So can someone show me how to use it? Yeah? All right, you're going to do it? Yeah. You got it? Not so easy, right? All right, sorry I don't have alcohol, but we're all no germs, right? It's all good. Hey, you look like him. Wait a second. We're good? Okay. All right, you got it? Here? Okay, we're close. Okay, let's go. Let's say our brachot. We have to say our brachot. Go back, Mateo. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Kidshanu B'mitzvotav V'tzivanu Lishmoa Kol Shofar. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Shehechianu V'kiyamanu V'higianu Lazman Hazeh, which is a beautiful blessing of saying, I am so grateful for this moment in time, and I truly am. Let's take a moment to just look around. Wow, this is beautiful. Children are having a joyous Jewish experience. Who would have thought? Let's move it. Give me a little call. Let's start from that last grouping right here. We're going to do the... Oh, you're there. Okay. Ooh, did you guys break it? Okay.
Shavarim, Teruah, Tekiah, Shavarim, Teruah, Tekiah, Teruah, Tekiah Gedolah.
Jewish unicorns unite! I'd like to hear, oh, Russia, here it is. If I take oh, Russia, if I take Are we ready for a new year? 5780 in the house. Bam! So, an important thing to do this year, because it's 5780, is to teach our children the greatest of filmmaking, Go home and show them E.T. if they're of age and it's not too scary. Show them Goonies, all of those great things, right? Let's bring the 80s back for real, and let's move it forward. Just one more. We have this idea in these final moments of this Sefer that we spoke of, this book of life, and it is a blessing for our entire community to really concretize, really make concrete in our mind what things are we going to do. It's called Cheshbon HaNefesh, an accounting of the soul. What things can we do? And I want to hear from the parents to inscribe our family's journey into a book of life. Name some things. Anything. What? Tzedakah. Rain sticks. Anything? Nothing. I'm a grand failure. Do we have anything? In a book of life. Family time. Dinners together. Patience. Anyone? Nothing? I am a grand failure. Nothing. Tikkun Olam. Thank you. Healing the earth. Yes. Anything. Right? Tochecha. A proper rebuke. Right? A proper what? Kindness. A balance of tochecha is kindness. All right, Josh, we go. Back one, Mateo. Nasa tova, nizacher v'nikateh lefanecha, anachnu v'kol amecha beit Yisrael, l'chaim tovim uleshalom. And as we stand in a community, I want to acknowledge that there are people who are with us but through memory. One of the words of Rosh HaShanah is Yom HaZikaron, which is kind of a two-sided Kandinsky of types. It's both we want to be remembered in a book of life, but it is also for us to remember our own book of life and how within our hands is genetic material of thousands of years of ancestors, some of whom we knew, some of whom we miss, and are no longer standing by our side anymore. We have a mechanism called Kaddish in the Jewish tradition. And Mourner's Kaddish is actually not a dirge. It's an affirmation of life. It is a celebration of life. And so I ask all of us to please rise and really allow us to lend forward the names of those that we wish were standing alongside us, as well as holding space for the more ambiguous, those who may have parted with unresolved wounds. We open our hearts to all of these truisms at this time of year as we seek to have more clarity in our healing journey. We rise for Kaddish together. Can we say the names of who we are remembering? Please say them in full voice. Mel Schneid. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabah, bi'alma tivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, uv'chaye dekol beit Yisrael, ba'gala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shma rabba min shemaya, le'olam ulamei almaya, Yitparach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shemei dekudasha b'richu, le'ela ule'ela, mikol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'ramav, Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'yimru amen. Move on. Who's ready to dance? Who wants to dance for peace? Who wants to do a grand peace song? Like bringing in a peace dance like you've never seen before.
Shalom b'romav, Hu ya'aseh shalom.
Do you know this dance?
Shalom b'romav, Yaseh shalom aleinu. Oh, say shalom b'romav. Yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom.
Hey!
Yaseh shalom.
Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom. Hey! Yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Oh, say shalom b'romav.
Yaseh say shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Yaseh shalom.
Hey,
Yaseh shalom.
hey,
Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom.
Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Oh, sorry about that. Woo! So we end with these words, Gamar, Chatima, Tova. Practice them on a friend. Gamar, Chatima, Tova. May it all be sealed for good. We move on, Mateo. So we are a new emerging community here in Venice. We're in our 4th year. Open Temple is happening. We have a house right on this campus, Open Temple House. And we also have a Jew truck that rows through Venice and brings Judaism and good vibes. We'll be on the beach in a few weeks with Hillel from California State University, Long Beach, bringing like Torah and love. So look for our Jew truck outside. License plate, Open Temple. Move on, Mateo. Keep it moving. First, we want to say thank you to the amazing band, to our helpers, Jesse and David, to our incredible staff. And this was live streamed, so I want to thank James especially, and also the Jewish Journal that is live streaming us, and also our staff headed by Stephanie and all of everyone else. Thank you so much. Thank you, gratitude for, keep going, Mateo. Mateo, gratitude for Mateo. This is not a joke. Please, if you like or appreciate our community, data gathering and metrics are super important these days for fundraising and grant writing. So if you like us, please like us on Facebook. We're at Open Temple Venice. It's really important. That uptick that they see actually is an influencer as we apply for grants. So we move on to, we are live streaming, we said that, so thank you, Jewish Journal. And we move on for, there is this incredible spiritual practice we have going forward. We also have some other inroads that we can get involved with, Mateo, moving on. We have all of the happenings that you will get emails about. We continue. And all of these other happenings, including 10 days from now, Yom Kippur. And all of these other happenings, including in 2 weeks, Sukkot on the AK farm. And we're going to have a petting zoo, and we're going to build our sukkah. And it's going to be awesome. And it's right here on this campus with free parking. And then you can like hang out in Abbot Kinney afterwards. It's a win-win, right? We move on and say thank you, Intergalactic Abbot Kinney, our soul journey. We are in it. We also, and this is the plug, have B Mitzvah, we have Barbara Ollinger, and we have an incredible school. So if you're interested in our Arts 36, how many families are Arts 36 families? We have a few here. You can raise your hands. Okay, so you can see it's like a lot were here this morning. Thank you, Ryan. It's a really wonderful, vibrant program. It's Hebrew School of the Arts. We have Jew School of Rock. We have Israeli Dancing with David Dassa, who is a legend. We have the Venice Yeshiva, which is taught by me. We're actually getting a 3D printer to start doing some learning around Judaica. We also have a loom where every student actually weaves their own talit for their bar and bat mitzvah. It's super cool things happening. We move on. Adults want to deepen their spiritual practice and understanding of Judaism? Anyone curious about doing a little learning? We have the coolest Intro to Judaism class happening. It's taught by PhDs and rabbis, and some people have both. 5 different people, including myself, teach, and it's going to be on Zoom, so you can learn it from your house in January, and our live class starts in October, and it really is a deep dive into Intro to Judaism. If anyone's interested in conversion, it also qualifies with the Sandra Kaplan Beit Din, and we have a women's circle happening. We're really kind of looking to bring together the community of moms to commiserate. And there is a tradition with men called Kiddush Levana, and the men are coming together. It's actually really cool. The men are creating their own kind of like bros conversation. There are some really wild conversations going on. If any man is interested, I can tell you privately. I think Zach's going to be involved too, right? Yeah, probably. So it's all good stuff. We move on. Finally, how many people are Universal Life Ministers? I want to know this. Okay, so when you have a spiritual startup, you need to think of social entrepreneurship. So I identified a need. And the need is that there's this dude in Modesto, California, who's with something called the Universal Life Church, and he's made like $20, $30 million ordaining people, and no one knows his politics, and no one knows where the money's going. And I did my due diligence and found out that Open Temple would indeed qualify to ordain people as Jewish ritual life ministers. So We went live, eighthblessing.org is up there, and it basically allows you to click through and find a few different choices to become a Jewish ritual life minister. You have to have a buyer beware and look at the state that you're going to minister in, but we can help you with that. And the outcome is that I hope it can go national and really trend and become a revenue stream for Open Temple. Woo, woo. Moving on. Challah! Challah in the house. Challah in the house. So we begin with a quick Kiddush. Kiddush is about sweetness. It's about remembering creation and Exodus. And on Rosh HaShanah, we want to say, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. And this is some of the coolest challah in the house from Challah Chab. This is apple challah, right? Apple challah. So we have to do surfer motzi. So come with me. Anyone taking it? Ruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. Well, these are passionate children. They are going to definitely make the world a better place. Mateo, keep it going. Keep it going, Mateo. Keep it going. All right, so apples dipped in honey. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri ha'etz. I can make your hands clap, Milo. Shana Tova!
You're so 'cause you've been sinning in the city. I know too many troubles. All these lovers got you losing control. You like a drug to me, a luxury, my sugar and gold. I want the good life every good night. You're a hot one to hold. 'Cause you don't even know. I can make your hands clap. Said I can make your hands clap. Somebody save your soul 'cause you've been sinning in the city. I know too many troubles. All these lovers got you losing control.
So what you gonna do for Rosh HaShanah?
Look, I'm all for New Year's parties, but the Jewish New Year, I mean, it's just gonna be a bunch of guys praying, right? What's the fun in that?
It's the holiest time of the year. A time for introspection, appreciation, and you know what? Let me explain it to you a little bit differently. Guys,